song for a movie podcast. Some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us, we're Cinema Buns. Let's go!
I kind of regret not really crafting because that's incredibly cheap.
Welcome to Cinema Buns. I'm Ritter.
I'm Mike.
And I am Iron Man.
Man, he is out of it.
Yeah, this week we watched Viy 1 and 2, or as
But Ritter, I didn't know that V for Vendetta had a sequel. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the Russian-made movie Viy, spelled V-I-Y, or as its international titles would go by, The Forbidden Empire and Iron Mask. And fuck, these deflated us hard.
Well,
Okay.
no, okay.
Oh my God.
The first one deflated us.
This movie poster is
it should
totally not what happens in the movie.
like I should say, we should preface this with saying
We watched the
we watched
second
it in
one
backwards.
first.
We watched it backwards on accident.
So, how this spiral starts is I saw that Jackie Chan made a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger called Iron Mask. And upon the first few minutes, we realized this is a sequel to something. And we're like, what's the sequel to? So, Iron Mask is actually the international name for V2, which is a Russian-Chinese movie. And V1 is just a Russian-made movie.
Yeah.
And V1 is so the international release name for that is Forbidden Empire. And the second one is Iron Mask. So if you guys are following the lore, that's what you're gonna need to follow.
Yeah.
I think should we talk about it in order? Or should we talk about the way we saw it?
Let's talk about stuff that's pretty universal between both of them. Because, oh my god, this is an ADR nightmare.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's ADR for those at home?
It's recording done after the fact of filming. Most dialogue actually is ADR because the audio you get on a live set or when you're out and about in public and you're recording dialogue sounds like shit. It's the sound mixer and the editor like don't have a lot to work with. And so like in order to appease the sound guys, which every like filmmaker wants to do, they make everything completely separate tracks so that they have complete control over the entire like audio atmosphere and space of the movie. So ADR in general is dialogue dubbed over is just the actors dubbing over their dialogue that they acted previously.
Or completely
so
separate actors dubbing over your dialogue.
ADR can also fix scripting mistakes, misspoken lines.
Or it can make new ones.
Yeah.
Or redact things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fix continuity errors. Someone pointed it out like later on and they flubbed the line during that take, but the way they acted that take was good. Then you see it a lot in TV versions of movies. You know, when they get rid of all of the swearing and switch
it Monday to Friday plane.
Yeah.
What's the one movie that's really funny about it? Hancock?
What?
Sure.
What are you referencing? I don't know.
The TV version and the movie version, the word he hates is different.
I don't know.
I don't know that reference.
You haven't seen the Will Smith?
I've seen Hancock.
Yeah.
I have not seen it on TV.
Yeah, what's the word that he hates? I forget.
Dude, it's been years.
Penis?
No, it's like
Goiner?
no, it's like
Superheroes?
Consent?
it's you might have to censor me. Asshole? I don't know.
Dude, you remember half the shit we've said on this podcast.
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
No,
Okay.
this is a family-friendly podcast.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
We make family. We love the process of making families.
But like in the TV setting, it gets changed to like idiot or something like that.
Oh.
And it's so obvious.
How does that work? Because he shoves a guy in someone else's ass. I think, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't really show anything. It just shows a guy, like a body, behind another dude.
Wasn't the scene him going, I'm gonna shove his head up your asshole?
Yeah. I'm gonna shove your head up his
Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up while we keep going.
But, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So,
good way to distract yourself.
we think that these movies originally are actually spoken and subtitled in the original languages that the actors were speaking. However, for the international release, they're like, hey, Westerners hate subtitles, so we're just gonna ADR everything in English.
English dub everything, yeah.
And it's real bad. Because, like, there are sometimes they fuck up the lines in the ADR.
It creates like just a unsynchronized like effect in your brain where you're like seeing their lips move and the sound does not match up.
It's like the English dub to Squid Game.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, it's bad.
I mean, like any dub of a live action media, an English dub generally, from my experience of live action media, doesn't always like translate well. Mostly because you can clearly see like lip flaps.
Yeah.
Whereas in like anime, it's easier to absorb in your head because it's not even the same like kind of rhythm.
The other thing is that commonly, at least in this movie, you do not get the same emotions given by the ADR English as you see on screen.
Mm.
It's just, imagine us talking super monotone, being like, huh? What did you do with my daughter? Where is she? Instead of like actually acting it. But
a lot of people make fun of bad martial arts dubs, especially before dubbing got good.
Yeah.
And a lot of it can be like blamed on a non-English speaking voice director.
Mm-hmm.
Who just like you see this quite a little bit on English performers. This is from my experience from just English performers in anime, when there's an English speaker that not like a Japanese speaker speaking English, but like an actual like native English speaker, and the acting just sounds really bad. It's just the inexperience of the voice director, or if they just thought that the way they said it sounded cool, and that's just the take they put in.
Yeah, but
because like we all know what emotions sound like, and when
I should hope.
and when someone asks us to emote angry or like say something like sad, then there's a certain way we know how it's supposed to sound. But that might not be the take that gets taken in the edit. It's also a little bit jarring too because the big names, the English speakers like Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger dubbed their own lines, but it's
still not in sync.
It still doesn't
with their
feel
own.
right.
And so we're gonna start with the first movie just because that was the big downer. Meanwhile, Iron Mask was lit as shit.
It was so hype. It was so
Lit as
so
shit.
hype.
So the first one takes place in this like Ukrainian village.
Well, actually, just to kind of describe what the overall story of these eventually trilogy is, because as of recording, the third movie is not out yet. So we have V2 Journey to China, and then V3 is Journey to India. Or it's Into China, and then, or is it Journey to China?
It's V2 Into China. And then V3 into India.
Yeah, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Orient Express movies for some reason. The Orient Express novels. It's Jonathan Green, who is
a cartographer.
Is it a real cartographer?
I don't know if he's real. I just know
I didn't do the background check of this movie.
I know V is based off of like these are based off of, or at least V1 is based off of like a book or some sort of like written thing. But yeah, Jonathan Green is a famous British cartographer, and he's just mapping the world. And the first movie takes place of him just trying to map Russia. And he gets stopped in the Ukraine, and that's where most of the movie takes place, is when he's stuck in like this village. The second movie is where he heads towards China because because the Russians ask him to map the borders of Russia. So,
but also he's also just trying to escape because the Russia kind of wants him dead.
And I think like the trajectory he's going, he's now headed to India. But yeah, the thing is though, it's a little bit funny. He's the
wow, these posters are super big lies.
Super big lies, right? So,
let me see these lies.
So, yeah.
Oh my god, I wish.
Yeah, no,
I wish.
Wait, hold on. So, we're looking at the movie posters for this, and they're super big. And then there's this guy with just the beefiest arm holding the biggest ass sword.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. He's about to fuck up some shit. Not even close to what happens.
I wish we got that movie.
So,
oh my god, that looks baller.
We were super excited because the second movie, clearly they had to take some like shortcuts for certain things. Probably were stretching the budget a little bit. The ADR was everywhere. And then in the first movie, the first like 5 minutes, actual acting, actual recording, and we're like, oh shit. And like you could see a higher budget far.
The design was nice.
Yeah, we're like,
the entire sequence, all the sweeping camera angles, the CGI, that entire just intro sequence was like fantastic.
Yeah.
Compared to the second movie's intro sequence, which is a very narrative way to like world build.
yeah.
Because it's the first one is like sweeping cogs and like clockwork machinery going into,
and it's all
going
moving
into
and things like that.
Driving along a map, and the map is getting populated. In the second one, it's a very like budget where it's
Just a recap of the first movie.
Well, no, it's
No,
like
that too, that too,
it's a
but no.
standstill like stacked 3D art statue that
when
they
Jackie
follow.
Chan is
Yeah, that's
describing
right.
the world, so everything is in wooden dolls, and everything is like just wood carved, and the camera is panning around.
Yeah.
In order to tell the story. So when it moves on to the next scene, the camera just moves on to a different part of the entire this giant diorama.
Sculpture,
Yeah.
But and it was cool because like in the first one, it actually explains his carriage and why it's like so vital, and it shows how he pilots it from the inside so he can live.
Which were questions that we had when we were watching the second one first.
Because his carriage is plush as shit. He's got a
it
leather
is.
couch in there. It's comfy as
It's
shit.
a leather couch.
Yeah,
It's
and we're like, who's driving this cart? What the fuck? And then the first one actually explains that he's got this like pulley system in where he can turn left and right.
to be fair, they wouldn't need to explain it in the second one if we watched. I think they expect you to watch the first one.
But so the first one, opening shots. Okay, cool.
It starts
Higher
off
budget and
promising.
stuff.
Yeah, it's actually like an air quotes action scene because it's literally John jumping out of bed post-coitus
As his girlfriend's dad and the guards are like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. And then like leaves, jumps out the window, drives to Russia.
You gotta go. And
Not a blast.
And then when it cuts to like Ukraine showing what's happening there, that's when the fucking ADR hits and everything goes to shit.
I don't know. It's
because-
still cool. It's still promising. Like, yeah, the ADR sucked, but it didn't necessarily go down as far as like what was being shot and like.
It was not far after it went to shit.
The thing is, it's very misleading on what's actually going on, because, man, you think some parts are dream sequences, some parts are like what people think happened.
Because one thing is that like the way it cuts in, so before he gets to the village, it's like cutting back and forth between the village and him in such an annoying way where it physically hurts to try to piece together the story as it's being told.
Well, you just have to pay attention to whenever it jumps, and then it gives a timestamp and location.
It tells you, but it's still like not
still
nice.
annoying.
Yeah,
and
the passage of time is like
over the course of a year.
Yeah,
and it keeps going back to present, and then the
awkward in that it like kind of just jumps to 9 months, couple hours later, 9 months later.
Yeah,
a
and
year,
then a couple months after that. And you wouldn't kind of know this unless you like look down on the bottom right and it tells you like how much time has passed.
And it goes by so fast.
It goes by pretty quickly, yeah.
And like it starts introducing like witches and monster shit, which it does in such a weird way. I can't even tell who's the monster and who's not, and then who's supposed to be where. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, like so they tell you, well, they make it seem like there's actual magic in this world and universe, because in the first encounter of him going to Russia, he's in the woods, going through the Ukraine right now, I think.
Oh yeah, getting chased by
Yeah, and he
dire
gets
wolves.
chased by like shadow, cloudy mist wolves
that he
ignores for the first like.
until one tries to jump into the carriage and he very lazily just closes the door, not because like he couldn't see it, but because that was him acting against nothing and them not doing the CGI well.
Right.
And then they just fucking fuck off as soon as he gets out of the mist.
I excuse non-American CGI. We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We are kind of spoiled.
But so
I just it leads you down the wrong path of what's actually going on.
because then
Well,
in the
actually, I let me see if I can pill you guys a little bit. All of the
black pill, please.
all of the supernatural elements, most of them are flashbacks as stories recounted
Yeah,
by
and I
people
got
he's
that.
talking to.
That part was understandable.
Yeah, so like the scene where the dead girl wakes up and then snatches like the guy's friends from the church.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy's friend.
That's
the,
a story.
The witch just flies him around.
Yeah,
and
the
drops him
the
off.
old lady turning into a hot babe and then taking off her clothes. That's just hearsay, and
Yeah.
then like takes off and whatever.
The what's going on in the church, it's or not the church, in whatever sanctuary.
Yeah,
No, that is a church. That is a
Yeah,
church.
That's a church.
What's
on
going on in the
mountain.
church, and everyone, it's like said by someone else. It's a story by someone else. So like that stuff makes sense. It's the other parts, like again the mist wolves. That's just not
and
explained
then
or
like
touched
at one
upon.
point in the movie, just randomly, big monster scene. There's three guys he's been hanging out with turn into fucking creatures, and they're
Yeah.
attacking him.
And God, I love
fucking Satan eyeball man
Yeah.
emerges
Yeah.
from water.
fucking so
and
cool.
it's
Everything there is
cool.
so cool.
But it comes out of left field so damn hard, and I chalk it up to it just being like a dream sequence. Like he just got so drunk, he just is imagining all this from the stories they were telling him. I thought. And then, literally, he wakes up onto the table. Everyone's a mess.
Covered in nut juices.
Yeah, he like, and then we're all sitting there. The characters are all back together. They're not like monsters anymore,
Human
but they're
parts.
also all covered in this dust and stuff.
No, the monster guys never show up again. It's
Yeah, they
only
do.
the witch girl.
No, they're back.
The monster guys never show up again.
Yeah, because
No,
it's-
that's what we were saying. It's just
Yeah.
they turn back to
they turn back to normal.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, and they're just unconscious sleeping.
yeah, they're all just
that's
unconscious.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Pay
saying.
attention, Ritter.
Dude.
It was killing him. It was
I
really
was
killing him.
dying. And so yeah, that fucking happened, and then like it's supposed to be this almost like village political intrigue through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you can't even piece together what the fuck they're saying and what's happening.
It's a kind of a hard political structure to follow because you do understand.
The ADR does not help.
It
does
doesn't.
not
And
help.
it's also just the like traditional Russian names are hard to follow. So
Dude, that's me on like every movie, so that's not an excuse.
So like John Green is the only one I can attach to a person, and Petrus I think because he kept calling him a few times, and then and then the damsel. I can't even remember her name, even though Petrus said it so many times. But yeah, no, there's a political struggle in this village between the village head, whose daughter just died, and he's been trying to mourn.
He didn't just die. It was been a year.
Yeah, it's because there's also a priest who has been slowly gaining power an influence by using like religion to
Yeah.
to scare
influence
one in like the cursed church where his daughter's
Corpse is
corpse
just
reigns,
chilling.
and where the so and so
which looks so good after 1 year.
Yeah,
so.
right?
which the priest that was supposed to pray for her for like 3 days also apparently died there.
Yeah, so he...
And so it's a
declared
cursed tower that no one goes to anymore.
And he was using this curse to, like, scare everyone into believing him and shit.
And
Well,
be his
yeah.
followers.
It's that's one aspect of it, but also it's to block out like that he murdered and raped her or
Yeah, but
something.
okay, I wasn't gonna say that because of spoilers.
Well, we're talking about both movies, so
And they came out in 2014.
Okay.
That doesn't- that's
Yeah, all right, yeah, all right. We'll just go. Okay, so yeah, the big reveal.
Which, by the way, this movie does not get interesting until literally the third
act.
the
last
last
act.
20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm
Out
sorry.
of an almost 2-hour-long movie.
Yeah. Like, Ritter was like, look, Ritter was
At
so
one
impatient,
point,
he
I
looked it up,
checked
and we
how
were
much
halfway.
I checked how much time was left, and we still had 40 minutes, and I'm like, fuck!
But yeah, the big reveal, like Kevin was saying, the head priest that for their church there, murdered, raped, and then killed raped and murdered the Baron's daughter.
I think it was an accident too.
No.
Right.
He meant to do that. The accident was the other girl who
Like,
came to look and
Yeah.
got, like, traumatized by the experience.
yeah. And then
And then the student boy
The altar boy, yeah.
like went to go help her but thought that she would assume he was the one that attacked her friend, so he put on the weird costume the priest was wearing to take her out, and then
Right.
he's just been fucking hiding because he's like, fuck, they're gonna accuse me of being the...
we should mention that the priest boy is the one that was paid at the very beginning to pray those
for
3 days.
But the head priest came and hit him with the money,
Yeah.
but then realized he was still alive and didn't have time. It was just like, oh, fuck off, he's dead!
Yeah. And so, yeah, then they took the money and they ran away and everything like that.
And he's just been stuck in there for a year.
Yeah, and he's literally just been stuck in there and he's been, like, trying to figure out a way to
leave.
Well, not necessarily just leave. He's also repenting because he couldn't save her or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like
So he was repenting for a year as well.
Yeah, because he didn't properly save her soul.
Yeah, so
But for
like,
whatever reason, demons from the underworld
Wants them to...
have taken sympathy upon this poor woman, this poor girl, and asks John Green to...
yeah, they haunt him in his dreams.
It's not a dream. No,
Yeah, that's another thing. It's not a dream. I keep forgetting.
I think they like just either take over the minds of everyone in that dining room, and then transform them into monsters, and then have the old lady turn into the dead girl,
Yeah.
and then fucking scare the shit out of John Green.
I'm gonna mention this right now. So they had a moment to do something interesting, and they just did nothing with it. Was in that whole sequence, like he draws a circle with the chalk. He was told that that's how you
And it
save
made
yourself.
him invisible.
Yeah, made him
They
visible and
couldn't
protect.
see him, didn't know where he was.
And then the witch basically called him out on his his shit and was like, oh, so when science can no longer explain anything, you immediately go back to magic and everything like that. And I was like, oh snap, that's a cool idea. Are we gonna expand upon this? Nope. We're not
you.
gonna, yeah, nope. It's not explained. Just move to the side. I was like, that would have been such a cool move to
And,
make him question.
By the way, did you guys notice there was a Chekhov's gun they set up and then did fucking nothing with?
Yeah.
So he went to a blacksmith to get his carriage fixed because it got blood. Check this out, and it was a cannon that was supposed to shoot this like glider or something.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with it.
Yeah,
Didn't do
nothing.
shit with it.
You don't see that blacksmith until later.
Yeah.
And you spent like enough time on it to where
That's gonna show up something in the movie.
At some point they're gonna do something cool with that, where someone gets on it and guides it and shit. Nothing.
I was mentally drained. I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
That felt like yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, and you're like, there was no payoff for that, and then like
the climax is them just coherently explaining what the fucking plot was.
Like the traumatized. Oh, another thing that came out of kind of left field, I guess, also was his assistant Green's assistant was assigned to him by the Baron or whatever.
Oh, was in love with the traumatized
and is also
girl?
in love with the traumatized girl. But it doesn't explain this at all. He just shows up.
He's like, you should come with us. I could kidnap you.
Yeah.
I could tie you up.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Or do you just want to come with?
Oh, I guess not. Okay,
no,
goodbye.
Unless.
Yeah. And it's just like,
showed you my dick. Bondage.
Yeah.
Unless.
And the reason why she's trying to bring him with is because the town's basically turned against him and think he's working with Satan and he needs to get out of the GTFO.
Then they get these two brothers to fight. He kills his brother, but then he makes everyone think it was the crazy girl that killed him.
There's so many moving pieces and so many just like
in the most non-coherent way.
This is in the last 20 minutes of the film.
Also,
all of these chain reaction things last 20 minutes.
At some point outside of the view of the camera, John Green solves the mystery and confronts the priest and tells the audience what's been going on.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, and they didn't leave any clues or anything for you to figure it out.
Yeah, so fucking V1 or Forbidden Empire was hot garbage. Ew. And it was okay.
It did.
So a small cherub creature crawled into one of his tubes in the back of his
carriage. It's a really creepy looking little thing.
Yeah, like a skull face, basically confirming the creatures are real. Then
actually, are you going to talk about the eyeball monster?
No.
The
priest
V,
gets his punishment.
That actual creature named V. The priest shows up there and he's like, "You'll burn for eternity for what you did," and it's super 10 frames a second.
Yeah.
But
I love that monster.
I wanted to bring this up.
It's a cool monster idea. I'll give them that. The monster designs.
All the monsters were done well.
Were really done well, but for some reason
I love
just
that kind of body horror.
Bad plot.
No, I love if a person's mouth is starting to overstretch and then another face comes out of the mouth.
Yeah.
It was rad.
That was rad shit.
But okay,
that was the nice thing that came out of this movie was the cool monster designs.
So beginning of Into China, like Kevin stated, it's sweeping shots describing how a dragon came and the dragon's eyelashes are used to make tea, and it's the dragon's power that gives tea healing property because tea is the shit. And only their tea is the shit because they got that good shit with the kush. But
you ever smoked dragon tears?
Yeah, and
Dragonland?
It showed at one point the creature that crawled into his thing comes out, and this is where we got confused because we watched the second one first. The creature that came out is a super cute little fuzzy monkey flying thing.
Yeah, monkey.
The Chinese censors didn't like the horror cherub.
Yeah. No, you see the Chinese censorship through once you see the first one.
It is hardcore. Now, okay, the reason there's Chinese censorship isn't just because it's into China. It's because they partnered with Jackie Chan's mini studio.
Yeah.
And
some other Chinese production companies.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a joint production.
So, they had some big names in this one. They had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jackie Chan. They had another big there was another big Chinese actress. I can't remember her name though.
Oh, okay.
But she's been in a lot of stuff.
The princess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we watched this one, I was surprised because when we watched the second one first, I was surprised because I'm like, these are actual sets.
Right.
Actual full sets. I'm surprised they have the budget for that.
Yeah. And
it's that the fact that it's not just CG everything except for the few things they have to touch.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they did a decent job with that. And then you're introduced to Jackie Chan, the Iron Mask himself, in Arnold Schwarzenegger's fucking wrestling prison. You get out if you beat me in a fight, bitches.
It is oh my god.
Yeah, so Arnold Schwarzenegger is a warden of a British... at the Tower of London, specifically.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so he's the warden of that, and anyone who could best him in a fight can get out. And he holds this, I don't know, weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he holds this thing weekly. He tells him. He tells him like to work out. It's like a freaking.
Yeah, no, it's like
And again, this
he's
is
very chill,
Yeah.
and he holds every important piece of historical artifact
Right.
in the world.
He's
That
like,
he
no,
just
no, no,
believes
that's
anything.
King Arthur's sword. No.
No.
And that my fucking note for that was, fucking weeb sword collection scene where him and Jackie Chan are fighting, and like every time Jackie goes to reach for like a weapon, he's like, no, not that one. That's
Yeah.
right. No, not that one. And
That's
Jackie,
the helmet of that's the spear of Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
No, that's Genghis Khan's
it's
helmet.
it's really funny the weird like friendship and respect they have for each other
Yeah.
during this whole fight scene, because Jackie Chan's like, okay, what can I do? And Arnold's just like, yeah, you're right. And he puts
Puts
his
the
sword
sword
down,
down.
and they both look at each other and they're like, okay, that's fair. And they go back to fighting.
They start going ham.
I actually enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
enjoyed their dynamic.
So the Iron Mask one, we're just gonna.
They fuck off with John Green. He's
Yeah.
not the main character.
He is not the
anymore.
main character in this one.
The main character is a Chinese princess.
A Chinese
That
princess
and
and,
his
Iron,
girlfriend.
And Iron Mask.
and Iron Mask.
Yeah.
And it follows his girlfriend too.
Iron Mask is in the movie for, I think, 10 minutes total.
No, he's in there pretty decent.
He's in it for the jail scenes, and then he's in it for the boat scenes.
And then he's in it for like the.
The climax?
Yeah, he's there for the
Once
climax.
I
he's
guess you're
joined,
right.
once
Yeah,
he joins,
he's
the-
Yeah,
there.
you're right.
Yeah,
other
so he's
characters.
in it.
But yeah,
he's
John-
the main character.
The thing is, he has a very forgettable face, and I'll give you that
Yeah.
one.
I got since we saw V2
Yeah.
first, like I got him and John Green
Yeah.
confused.
Kevin's exact quote for the Iron Mask was like, "Oh no, put it back on."
Fucking, you're more interesting with it on. John Green in the first one was just like getting his shit kicked in.
So
be
the
fair,
first movie
he
was a
was-
horror film.
Yeah.
A supernatural horror film. This is a fantastical
Adventure.
Chinese kung fu adventure.
And
Yeah.
John is just there as an excuse to make it V2.
Yeah.
And
Although to be fair, in the first V, John's a little more capable.
Yes.
He is a very
Yes.
he can use a sword. He uses guns. He uses some
pops
cool
himself.
guns too.
and this one, he thinks a woman in some decent clothing is a boy.
yeah.
And
Oh god, Kevin's comments in that whole entire thing is wild.
but no, yeah.
Stop it! I never said
So
anything.
big convoluted thing for them to get to her village, because he's like wanting to help her out or to chart
he needs
China.
to chart China.
Yeah, but so we get introduced to the best characters in the film who get done the fucking dirtiest.
Yeah.
Space Marine Mega
Oh
Chad
my
armor
god!
dude.
Yes, we're talking
Holy
about them.
fuck, they were so cool.
Okay, let's start this scene right. So this is how you're introduced to these lads, to these mega chads. All right. So they're collecting gold because
Yeah, they're like
current
tax-
because the current princess is taxing the hell out of everybody.
Who's an imposter, but
Who's an
that's
imposter?
whatever.
That's beside the point. That doesn't matter. That's not why we're watching this film. So he's like collecting money from
Oh, that's
people.
why I'm watching the film.
Yeah, okay. Kevin's watching the film for actual plot. I'm watching it. I'm watching it for Space Marines.
For 2 plots.
Yeah.
Nah, there were 6 plots. You see those other assistants?
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, they're coming collecting taxes and stuff, and
And
some
then-
people are like, "Fuck you."
And then out of the smoke, you just see these 4 mega Chad armored Space Marines start walking up, and you're just like, oh my god.
They look so cool.
Literally, as soon as they showed up, all 3 of us were like, "Oh my god, they're so cool!" And like, fucking, at one point, someone tries to do something, and the big rock dude backhands them across
And
the
it goes
courtyard.
flying. It's so
And
good.
then you've got this, and their designs are cool. So the rock one just looks like a big, bulky rock.
Like
Chinese
iron,
rock.
like,
armor.
Yeah.
It's like an iron power armor. And it's huge.
The smoke guy has these like
Snake
heads coming out of the shoulders and chest
And-
that constantly pour out smoke.
and it makes him move so fast.
yeah, and he just spins and
Teleports.
sprints across place with all the smoke. Then there's the electric guy.
He's so cool.
He looks like he just has a bell on his head, but he
I
just
was thinking of like Raiden from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I was thinking Raiden too.
to me it just looked like he took like a church bell and he cut it and put eye holes in it.
Oh yeah, that too.
But he controls electricity
And he controls like metal because it's magnetized.
and he has these fucking like electric
gloves,
gauntlets.
Yeah.
And then the sound dude who just has this big ring of pipes around him.
And he just has this like
accordion.
accordion little like thing around his
yeah.
stomach.
And a bunch of people start causing shit and he's like brrr, and everyone's like, ah, shit. And
He starts releasing dubstep looks, and it's incapacitated. It's
during
such a
the
huge crowd control, dude.
Yeah. And during the whole fight scene, we're all just like, they're so cool!
it's like they're so overpowered. How are
Yeah,
you
no,
gonna
the
stop them?
electric guy pull with the power of
All
electricity,
their
pulls
weapons.
all the swords out, and then points them at them like fucking Gilgamesh.
Yeah, and just throws them all
And the
back.
sound guy affects everyone except for their own troops.
Yeah.
So Kevin was just like, how do you fight that? What do you do?
Yeah, you're like distracted by the sound man, the smoke man, and the stone
Makes it so
man.
you can't see, and the stone man's kicking
Well,
your
yeah,
shit
no,
in.
the smoke man's also fast.
Yeah, he's hella fast. So he's like hitting people.
So
and,
he's sniping people in the crowd, and the stone man is also sniping people in the crowd.
and they are just cleaning.
Meanwhile, the sound guy and
house.
electric guy are doing crowd control.
Yeah, it's
And,
so.
and like debuffing them because they're pulling out their weapons.
Yeah, pull out
Like,
the
how do
weapons.
you
Also,
beat this crew?
So, okay, and when I said they got done the dirtiest, it's revealed later that, like, so...
Magic's not real.
Yeah.
The magic, the quote-unquote
because they're
magic...
called wizards.
Yeah, they're called... The quote-unquote magic they're using is fake, because they need the dragon medallion in order to pull magic from the actual dragon. But this whole time they've been pretending they've been able to communicate with the dragon and that they have wizards and stuff. And they're done dirty because, like, when that's revealed, they're, like, sap... Because, like, the electric guy, they just have a generator that they put in these batteries and they put in them.
Yeah.
The smoke guy is just this chemical stuff. The rock guy is just, like, an a dude in, like,
A very fragile skeleton when he falls over, it just breaks apart.
Yeah. And then the sound guy is just a dude
Air
that
pumps.
has like air pumps in his feet.
Which
Yeah.
is fine.
And
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
But like the way they get taken out
It's
is
so dirty.
rock
Like
guy.
we all knew. The thing is,
In
we
our
all
hearts, we knew
knew.
they could not live.
No.
And we were just praying that they go out like champions.
Yeah.
Because literally as soon as that fight scene ended, I think it was Kevin that was like, "Man, I hope they die cool too."
Yeah, because we all knew for a fact that they were gonna get done dirty. We all three of us knew.
We knew they were gonna
collectively.
lose, but I hoped we
all hoped they get some cool like endings, but we also knew in our hearts that they were gonna
It
get.
wasn't gonna happen.
It wasn't gonna happen. They
So-
weren't gonna get the respect they deserve with that cool like cosplay.
Yeah, so like the electric guy, they just took out the generator, and at one point he ran out of power, and the guys were looking at him, and it was funny because the guy in the electric suit makes this like hand movement, like, "What do you expect me to do? I'm out!"
Yeah.
And then he gets stabbed and gets electrocuted himself.
Yeah.
The rock guy trips,
Yes.
and he's defeated.
He gets pushed over,
Yeah.
and it's like okay.
He was the last one to go because he's the least vulnerable because he's not running on power like everyone else.
Nah, he's just strong.
Yeah.
The smoke guy gets out
It took,
because
it took him like 7 people like to gang up on
just
him.
to trip
Yeah,
him.
the smoke guy gets hotboxed.
to death. Yeah, they throw a bed sheet over him, and he
Is
chokes on his own smoke.
And then the sound guy, he gets
done the
kicked, he gets
dirtiest.
punched in the balls.
Just
He
literally
literally gets
someone,
punched in the dick.
yeah, someone sneaks into his outfit and then
Yeah, just punches him in the dick, and it's just like,
The
oh,
old
And they do explain why their soldiers aren't affected by the sound because their helmets have built-in like
and that's
sound
such a,
protection.
and yeah, their weapons are not made of like traditional metals of stuff and stuff like
Yeah.
that, so they're not magnetized.
They're
And these are like
non-conductive.
cool, well, like designed stuff.
Yeah.
It's like detailed. That kind of. I'm just gonna like kind of give credit to Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume. But yeah, there's a lot of just kind of like detail and craft in like their world, their technology.
But then there's some stuff that they go super lazy on,
Mm-hmm.
like the fucking Mary Poppins Brigade, where the way that they
Oh,
start
yeah,
the
they-
climax is they put three
Three
umbrellas
umbrellas.
on this like lattice
some
work of
Avatar: The Last
bamboo.
Airbender stuff and
they
just-
just jump off a cliff with 3 umbrellas taped to them, and they can guide
And then they
themselves
start
somehow.
shooting pepper flakes.
Yeah,
Which
It's
is a
so
cool
spicy.
idea. Which is a cool idea.
that's what they.
I-
That's
I
an
thought that
actual
was-
weapon that
yeah.
used to be used.
I thought that was a good idea for them to use that as something to like, because they're not gonna have any other weapons that are
control,
gonna be effective. Like their metal's gonna be taken out by the electric dude anyways.
Yeah.
So that was a cool idea. But the way they went about flying them on into the fortress and stuff, I was like, oh, that's so
But
lame.
before you get introduced to the real magic, the closest thing to magic is that the lady that took over basically has these like face masks that she puts on to look like the princess.
Yeah.
And like at one point, her and her 2 assistants, all 3 of them have it. So that way, like the princess and
The fake princess and her 2 assistants can fight the real princess.
yeah, and she's trying to guess who's the like real
You're like, yeah, how am I?
imposter and
Yeah,
stuff.
and I was like, it feels like I'm fighting 3 of you.
But
Yeah.
also, the fight scenes in this movie
Are
are,
done-
not the best, but they're not terrible.
I give
I
to
thought they
Jackie
were
Chan's
fantastic.
Yeah.
production that gave him the good fight scenes, because the fight scenes were better than I thought they were gonna
Yeah.
be.
I did feel bad because like, okay, the dragon happens, happy ending, and then it shows like Jackie Chan telling the story of this movie, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger shows up like, come on, show me the dragon. You said you would show me
Yeah,
the dragon, and he's like, the dragon is in the village, and then you see the village is like in the shape of a dragon. It's
And
in the
you
sea.
see
It's in the shape of a dragon. It's in the sky. The clouds look like a dragon. And I'm like, he deserves to see the fucking dragon.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. I'll give him credit. Oh, I did like how at one point in the Tower of London, like when John Green's girlfriend shows up to get Iron Mask, there's an old guy in there who's like, let me kiss you, show me your toes. And he apparently dies
Yeah.
because of how excited he was she was there.
Yeah.
And like,
It's like, at least he died happy.
well, yeah, and one of the guards goes, his soul escaped. And Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, what? That's impossible. Literally, my note is, it's
Nothing
impossible for a soul to escape? What
No,
the
you don't
fuck?
understand. Nothing escapes the Tower of London.
Apparently,
There's-
but it was like,
we're
how
missing-
could he die here?
So
He's
we're
not allowed to die.
we're jumping all over this movie only because we want to hit the main things that made us so hyped for this one, because we were excited for part 2 to talk
Because the
about.
plot is just super basic.
Yeah.
Go to China, free the village,
Yeah, so
find the real dragon,
But the
and-
way to go about it is so cool.
yeah. And then like they turn the
it's a technology versus like fantasy mythical religion type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Much like the first one. So they both kind of shared that theme.
but
But
somehow
magic's
done
real in
better.
this one, yeah.
And what was funny is after we watched the second one, we were tentatively excited to watch the first one
Because we hear
were
it was
like,
better.
Well, sort of. I knew that since it's not Jackie Chan involved, like it didn't have the Chinese half involved, it was probably just gonna be like,
a horror.
yeah,
horror.
it's not gonna be
Yeah.
as cool.
But you said, who looked it up? Said
But
that
yeah,
the
no.
reviews were better for it.
Yeah, I was saying that it made more money and reviews were better.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not
There were no wizard space marines. I'll tell you what.
And before anyone starts talking shit and going, oh, you didn't like it just because there wasn't as much fighting and shit. Fuck you. Okay? I like movies that don't have a lot of fighting. Fucking Prisoners was amazing. You didn't see much fighting in there.
It's
Like,
not much of a fight, dude. It's a
No.
guy getting beat up for 3 hours.
One more.
Prisoners with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
About the child molester.
And it's Hugh Jackman beating up a guy in his bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
That's
that.
what the movie's about.
Yeah. No,
There's no fighting because he's fucking getting bullied by
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
no, but I mean, it's just you don't need fight scenes to make it good. But god damn it, you need a coherent story.
Yeah. Like, this was so. The first one probably had a better. I don't want to say story.
World?
I would say it did. No.
I don't know. No. I'm sorry.
I want to
apologize.
say the first one was fine.
He's trying to think of a pro.
Like it. Here's the thing.
Oh, he's grasping.
Here's the thing. Yeah. So the second one. So if we would have watched the first one on its own, I think I would have thought it was an okay movie. I really do. But we watched the second one first, and the second one just went with the rule of cool. It was just like, this might not help the story, but damn, does it make the movie better.
I think the exact opposite. I think if I saw the first one, I would not want to watch the second one.
I don't know. I saw that. Like, literally, we judged both of these books by their covers.
Yeah, we
because
really
I saw
did.
Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger in a red coat, and I was like, here you go. Here's the movie.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, if I saw the first one first, I would not have watched the second one. So I'm actually
that's
glad
fair.
we
That's
watched
fair.
the second
yeah,
one
okay,
first.
I'll give you that, because I probably would not have been. Well, no, I think our commitment to seeing things through, especially since we've gone through the Ice Queen and Snow
No,
Queen.
hold on. Snow Queen, though. Let's talk about Snow Queen for a second.
Oh god, All right,
It's
here we
not good, but we at least found some entertainment in it enough to keep going with
go.
it.
True.
And also, the plot was coherent enough for us to follow.
I don't know. The first one
Because
was.
someone else wrote it.
Yeah.
Because it's based off, a fairy tale.
Yeah.
But, like, V was just so obnoxious and disjointed.
Yeah.
And then Iron Mask, the
Was
sequel
just-
V2,
So fun to watch.
was just fun.
It was so fun. Like, there's also these three brothers that are also in prison. These three Chinese brothers that are in prison.
Who-
They don't explain why they're there.
Everyone actually, the second movie, everyone has a character arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has
And
you
their
can
goals
kind of
that- yeah.
describe. You can describe each of the characters. I'm so confused as to every character that isn't John Green in the first movie.
Yeah, but in this
on who
one,
they are because call me racist. I don't know.
But in the second one,
But here's the other thing. They will suddenly change what their voice sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
in the ADR.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
the old
I
man-
think you're confusing two different
no,
characters.
no,
who
they
are
were
the
the
same.
same
It was an
character.
old man.
It
It was
was
an
the
old
same-
man who had
yeah.
two different voice actors for his
No,
role.
no, and they just decided to do them differently. I don't know why, but like in this first scene, he shows up. He just sounds like a gruff guy.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, oh, this is bullshit, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the next scene, he's like, oh yes, young man.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll go down to the black. And then in the next scene, he's like, oh, this is such bullshit. It's like, pick what you want him to be.
Yeah.
You can't flip flop like that.
But like I said, in the second one,
Voice director, do something.
These characters are so unique. like I said, like the three brothers, they're just trying to get back to China. I was able to follow their plot line pretty easily. Like
John
they
Green's
had a
girlfriend.
fight. They had a fight with
Yeah,
Arnold
Miss
Schwarzenegger,
Dudley
and
became
it
a
was
character
so-
in the second movie,
Yeah.
whereas she was just like kind of in the background in the first movie.
Yeah.
I will say 100%. This movie was more female led.
Yeah.
The second one, yes.
Yes, that one was definitely
Yeah,
more female
Because
led.
it's Jackie Chan's daughter, or like his character's daughter is the princess,
Yeah.
and she's taking her country back.
Yeah, and
and Jackie
but-
Chan's pretending to be Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
projecting himself through the dragon.
I just like the scene in that Thunderdome with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the three brothers, and like one of the brothers is able to get away, and he's like, okay, he can go free.
Two of them are.
No, remember?
just one.
Yeah, only one gets up all the way. The other two stay to hold the ground so the brother can get away and get back to China, because the brother is trying to get back to the princess.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way. I thought two of them were starting to head up, and one of them was gonna hold his ground, and then the other two
Yeah, that's
came
what I'm saying.
down,
Yeah,
and they're like,
they were going up, but then
It's the
the
other way.
second brother,
Okay.
So the second
Either
brother saw
way.
the third brother struggling, so he jumped back down to help, and then the final brother, he's like, okay, that one got away, but you two are still gonna be here because I'm not gonna let you two go. But
Yeah.
then the third brother comes back. Then the brother comes back down. He's like, no, I'm sticking with my brother. He's like, oh yeah,
No, I'll go or
we all go or we all stay.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, I can respect that.
you're all free to go. And you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's dumb, but like it's a fun dumb.
Yeah. And like,
if you're a fan of John Green in V1, like
Yeah, this
You're
he
gonna
got
feel-
done.
you're gonna-
He
you're
got
gonna-
done dirty. He
you're
got
gonna
real
feel
done.
cucked in the second movie as he's not a character.
He's not a character.
He's a fucking damsel in this.
He is a
in the second
damsel.
one.
He is a straight damsel in this
As
one.
he tries to cope with his ever-growing attraction to a Chinese boy.
Damn it, he said it. I wasn't gonna
he's
say
like,
it, but he had to say
you
it.
were a girl? Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to ask some questions about myself. But, no. Yeah. I was so... I guess I was just wanting monster versions of the Space Marines and
Yeah,
I know. We saw
yeah.
the flashbacks from the second movie about the first movie and thought those monsters looked cool.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, are they gonna be like a recurrent thing, or it's like a other ones?
The first time V shows up with his 5,000 eyeballs and he's like, lift up my eyelids.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that is so cool.
Like, I wonder what happened in the first one. Like, damn.
I'm trying to remember if too far away from the mic. I'm trying to remember. Did they edit the sprites in the flashback to look cute?
Yes. Yeah.
yes, they did.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, they edited all the
because
sprites, but they left the monsters alone.
The monsters,
Yeah, it was weird.
but all the like horror cherubs,
Yeah.
they made the cute monkey thing because there would be a continuity issue if they showed the horror cherub going in and it comes out as a cute monkey creature.
They transform when they go to China.
Yeah,
Which also changes their personality because he becomes a cute pixie creature.
Yeah.
yeah, who's just like, I'm just here to chill out. I thought you were cool. I wanted to hang out with you,
Yeah.
bud. And
Whereas in the first movie, he stabbed like 3 in a single stab.
because they were also trying to bite him and like
Yeah.
fuck him up.
Yeah.
So
Which I don't know why V would have them attack
Yeah.
him if he's just
'Cause-
trying to get him to help him.
Let's explain this real quick. So, to me, this is what I took away from the flashback when we were watching the second one. I thought this man was going on a journey and dealing with separate events to
Yes.
get to China.
yes,
I thought part of the journey he met a witch, and then later on he met these monster creatures that he needed to escape from. And then later on he would meet this
yeah,
other creature.
I thought it
like,
was just the first movie was just like a road trip movie.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
him encountering different fairy tales.
Yes, I
And-
thought that's what it was, and I was like, that's a cool movie.
And then it turns into some bullshit fucking village political thing that it's just
Where he's like stuck in town because he has a flat tire.
Yeah.
It turns into Willy's Wonderland.
it's fucking stupid.
Hey, Will Wonderland was fun too, okay?
I would say definitely watch Iron Mask, which is on Hulu.
Watch
For
it with
free.
Watch it with your dad who likes kung fu movies.
Yes. Don't watch the first
No,
one.
the first one's not worth it.
You don't
You
even
would
need
have a better experience just learning that the flashbacks were so cool.
You know what?
You-
I'm looking forward to India.
I am too.
I'm
curious for
wondering if
India.
they're gonna partner with a
I want
production
full
company.
Bollywood.
Oh my
I
god,
want
that would be so
full
amazing!
Bollywood V.
I want John Green to be cucked again and fucked off. He's not the main character.
No,
and
he's not even in the movie.
choose another set of characters.
It's gonna be like a prince or something that he's just gonna be like going ham with jumping all over the place, kicking dudes, and they're going 60 miles away.
So far, I've seen 2 promotional images for it. One of them just being a fucking statue, and it looks like it's a statue from fucking Prometheus, like they did a screen take. The other one shows a Indian demon from Indian folklore, and I'm like, that's cool.
To be
I don't know
fair-
if it's real though.
to be fair, like we said way earlier, the food we just ate is coming back to fight. Sorry. The promotional posters for this series of movies
Are lies.
are just lies.
The Forbidden Empire poster.
No, the Iron Mask one
it's
was
just Jackie
truthful.
Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
together.
there's another one that he
Unless
just
you're
showed
talking
me.
about a different poster.
He showed
Those
me
were
a-
both for V1.
Really? That's such Bolshevik. Oh my god.
They were both
They
for
were
V1.
too cool for that movie.
Yeah.
If you guys get a chance, just look up the movie posters. You'll see these 2 Chad-looking dudes, Van Helsing guys, and you're like, that looks like a cool movie.
Thought it's like a demon slaying movie.
Yeah, it's like a Demon Slayer or a Monster Hunter movie, and you're like, oh, heck yeah, we're gonna hunt some vampires and other wicked creatures of the night. Yeah, let's get it on, but no, it's not that.
Because almost all the Iron Mask stuff is just Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan. Because that was their biggest selling point.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently it also has a 3rd title. Mystery of the Dragon Seal, Journey to China.
I assume that's the Chinese title translated to English.
It could be.
Possibly, but
that could be the light novel trend.
Anyway, but yeah, the second one was a fun watch.
yeah, I would say you don't need any context from the first one. Just see the second one, you'll know what you need to know.
I
Yeah.
feel like if you're a fan of cartography and map making, you'll enjoy both movies.
He does cartography for like a total of 13 to 15 minutes.
There's
of
a
the
whole
movie.
plot point of him just like mapping out the town, but for no reason.
No, because
Nothing comes out of it.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, remember he needed to make a map because the Lord wanted him to go there to see if it was also cursed. He was using the cartographer to see if the place was actually cursed or not.
You know, it's weird.
But no,
But
he
also-
paid him to make a.
Yeah, he paid him to make a map because
Yeah, yeah.
that was kind of it was under the guise of him just going there to see
I
if it
don't
was
know.
actually cursed.
It was still so
and
stupid.
then it was also for the priest that was still stuck in the
to make marks on it.
no, so he could get out of there and like
No, because
escape his.
he stole it.
Yeah, he stole it.
And he wrote marks because
It
that was
wasn't
his
meant for the priest.
Yeah, I know it wasn't meant for the priest, but it just that was the other plot point was the priest was using
just
to
happens,
get,
yeah.
to
No,
get,
you can't use a nonsensical plot point to make sense of another plot point.
The
That's
weird
not
thing
how
is,
it
though,
works.
I think there's more cartography in the second movie.
there is.
yeah, there is more because he actually makes a map of like the
of
village
the
and
village
and
that
stuff.
they
And also
actively
there-
that
use.
he actually used.
There's more traveling in the second movie because he's traveling all the way from Russia to China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's going on a longer journey and he's having more adventures off
Yeah.
screen.
You know what? Fuck. That's another point.
Yeah.
The map he makes of the village is actually used in the movie
Yeah.
to help them.
Yep.
The map of the village in the first one
Has-
isn't fucking used for anything.
It's used with those X's because he's exploring the area.
That's not even because of him. That's the priest trying to mark a
But
route.
it gets used, Ritter. It gets used.
For nothing! I'm so mad! Anyways, fuck you. God, any last thoughts on these movies? Jesus.
Honestly, I would recommend the second one. I fully believe that was a fun one to watch, and I could watch that again with some people that have not seen that movie or heard of it.
I
Yeah.
would say watch V for Vendetta.
Thanks.
Thanks.
No, I honestly, I think we need to watch Into India.
Oh, I
When
think
it
we do
comes out.
too. Just because now we're in this deep. Like I did not
Just like
spend.
we're waiting for Snow Queen 5.
Yeah, we're waiting for Snow Queen Friday.
If we can expect more of Into China with India, I'm fucking all in.
Yeah, I'm in
I
too.
want Indian mega chads showing up. I want
Indian god sculpted men and
If-
women to just be freaking chatting it
I want-
up in these
I
epic
want-
fight scenes.
I want Sing Hum to show up. And he's gonna, when John is riding on his carriage, Sing Hum stops it, the one wheel with his foot and it flips right through the air along with the horses.
But yeah, just watch the second one.
Yeah, watch the second one. Don't
Iron Mask, known internationally.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
on Hulu. If you've got a Hulu subscription, don't even need to pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any final thoughts that you guys want to add on to the little footnote?
Charles Dance was cool. He's the dad.
Who was in both?
Yeah.
I don't know how they got him.
Hey, his part wasn't actually
Oh,
ADR.
you know what?
You
No.
know what? His part wasn't ADR.
So, you know what was
Most
funny?
of
The
it
first
wasn't.
movie was done. When did Game of Thrones start?
Years ago.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
remember.
you.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like
It
past
started.
2013.
It was.
2011.
Actually, it was because this movie was 2014, and then
It started before I left for the
is
military.
Charles Dance in Game of Thrones? I don't know.
He plays
This is gonna mean nothing to me, Ritter.
he plays
What are you
like
talking about?
the head of the Lannister household.
Okay.
Anyways, so Game of Thrones premiered in 2011. That's very interesting that they even got him for the first one, because that was when he was.
Yeah, he's probably.
I mean, he had the
biggest
face
guy.
of not
he
carried
was like
anyways. It
peak
was great.
Game of Thrones. 2019, you could say it was after Game of Thrones, so he
Yeah.
had stuff to do.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, but you know what? Fuck this. Fuck V1, V2 all the way.
Yeah, V2
Give
was great.
Chinese Space Marines, give them to me.
Look forward to V3.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Again, you can always find us on Twitter at Bun Cinema. You can also check us out and support us on patreon.com/cinemabuns. It will give you access to our Discord and will help support us and make it easier for us to produce this show. With that, I'm Ritter.
I'm Space Wizard Marine Mike.
I'm Kevin.
And thanks for joining us. Bye.
Podcasts. I'm a pretty good, but we'll just suck